Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another session of Mat class this month, April 2023. We are going to finish off this month with the Theraband. I might still continue using it in May. We'll see how it goes. I do have a folding chair today. So once you get your folding chair and your Theraband somewhere nearby, go ahead and join me. You're going to let your folding chair be somewhere where it doesn't slide too easy. So be mindful of that. And we're going to start seated on the folding chair. So I'll find my way to have a seat with my feet just a little wider than hip width apart, nothing else. And then to bring myself into my practice, we're going to start with 3 breaths in and out. Just to bring a little bit more awareness and kindness in my thoughts, to have a smooth, deliberate practice. So here we go. Whatever you want to do, closing your eyes, not closing your eyes, 3 full breaths in and out. Sip a little bit more air in each time and see how long your exhales can go. And I'm going to look at my time just to make sure. Here we go. There we go. So now from that breathing, boy, it always brings me into where I am for the moment. I want you to think about how can you allow your body, mind, and soul unite by being present with whatever movement intention you have. The first part, you're going to go as wide as you can with your feet, and you're just going into a forward fold, essentially, just to let everything across the small of your back get a little extra breathing room and stretch. If you have the capacity to go ahead and touch the earth, by all means do so, but you haven't come off of your seat to do so. And then you're just going to drag your way back up to sitting as tall as possible. And same thing again. So we roll round over. I'm going to let my hands slide along my legs and my thigh bones, and I land at the edge of my ankles, and then I'm going to roll my way back up. Just spine stretch forward in a seated way. Different connection. Last one. Wonderful. So along that same line, I'm going to go into a twisted stretch. I'm going to take my right hand towards the left side. I still have weight on my right sit bone. Drag both of my hands and really thinking about the right side of the small of my back, the right bottom of the lungs, the top of the kidney area, all of those good structures, just giving it a little extra attention and allowing it to think it can breathe. 3 full breaths in this twisted position, and you hopefully can tell I haven't gone too far. And then I come all the way back. Same thing for the other side. I'm going to take both hands, one on top of each other. My left hand is on top of the right hand, dragging it down along the thigh bone, along the left leg, and only going where I feel like I've lifted across the front of my body to support the back body, but not coming off of my seat. Both sit bones are equally happy and down. 3 full breath cycles. And then dragging your way back up. Whew, yeah, wonderful. So now a little twist to open the front of my chest a little bit more. I'm going to start with the left side. I'm going to twist towards the camera, take my left arm as far back behind me by letting the right thigh bone stay happy. I'm going to use my right hand to press in along the inside of the right thigh bone in the leg, near the knee, trying not to push too hard. Using that as a means to keep the collarbones broad, shoulder blades wide, and just breathing into that big twisted stretch, trying to stay as tall as possible and not slanting towards that right thigh bone. And then coming back to center. Same thought process for the other side. Right hand reaches somewhere behind me. Turn my head, neck, and eyes with my right hand, and just breathing into that stretch. As I have all kinds of popping happening. And then coming back once more each side, please. We go to the left again. We open. Maybe we go a little further this time. It's not a must. Where am I? How am I allowing this body to find a kind and new place to live in? That's just a tiny bit better than where I used to be. That's it. And then coming back to center. Same thing for the right side. How do I stay tall? How do I stay lifted? Buoyant off of my low belly connection. Everything in the front body is hugging towards the crown of the head. Soft, supple body. And then coming back to center. Ooh, yeah. Now the Theraband comes into play. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit closer. I'm going to put the Theraband in the right foot, and I'm going to let my right heel stretch forward. And I have the left knee bent, and I'm trying to make sure that I sit a little bit forward of the sit bone rather than behind or slouch into my posture. I want to try to stay as tall as available. The Theraband is just to help me get a deeper stretch. All I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to both ends of the Theraband. We've been doing this whole time. As I bend my elbows wide, shoulders stay happy, I'm going to hinge forward and get a really nice hamstring calf stretch, and then come right back. How many are we going for? Just 10 of those. Flex ankle position, kind head, neck, and shoulders position, lifted low belly section. Everything staying really broad and soft. Wrists staying happy. 5, 6. I know you're thinking, why? 7, 10. And why so slow? I want to enhance my practice by being a little bit more present with each repetition and do the best I can. Last one. Excellent. And then I come right back. And now from there, I'm just going to use my exhale to barely lift that right foot off the ground with that long leg connection, just not locked kneed. From here, nothing changes. My elbows are bent, wrists are happy, very, very tiny. I just drop the leg, lift the leg, drop the leg, lift the leg, drop the leg, lift the leg, drop, lift, drop, lift. 5, 10 of those as well. 6, 7, 8, easy neck, easy shoulders, easy hand grip. And then we come out of that Theraband. Just for kicks, come up to standing for a moment and fold over on top of your thigh bones. And notice how light that whole right leg and thigh bone feel compared to the left side. And then roll your way back up. Find your hip hinge, find your seat. Yes? Yay, we got there. And same thing again for the other side. So I've got the Theraband in each hand on the left foot. And I'm going to let my left leg stretch without my knee completely locked in place. That would not be kind. all corners of my foot it's planted, right sit bone is planted. I didn't lean over onto the left side to find my seat. So I'm staying kind and thoughtful. So now from there, I'm going to hinge as far forward as my body allows and bend my elbows wide side to side. So the shoulder blades essentially end up kissing each other, and then release. Just breathe whatever feels comfortable. 10 of those, and quite slow, just to bring more awareness into what am I doing? How am I doing this? Am I really being soft and kind in my bones? Am I working the least amount necessary? Here's number 7. We really don't need to work hard, just much smarter. There we go, using our body's wisdom. 9, 10, wonderful. And then that leg lifts off because you've bent your elbows, wrists are staying happy, and it's off the ground when in that flexed position. Tiny pulses, up, down, up, down. Does it make you want to rock back? I know. Minimize how much you curl back. It's just all about very little. How can we be focused? 7, 8, 9, 10. Wonderful. And then we'll come out of that as well. And once again, come up to standing and fold over. Did we even ourselves out? It sure feels like it to me. So bring that Theraband back and have a seat. Once you roll your way up, apparently I was thinking too much as I was rolling my way up. I'm going to put each foot under the band, and I'm going to try to make it even on both sides. I'm going to go a little wider with my stance with my feet. And now this time I'm going to hinge forward and let my seat come off, meaning my sit bones come off of the chair. Just a little hover of a chair pose, taking a breath in. As I do that, I'm going to bend my elbows underneath where it's just going behind me. Lift off, pause, and then come back down. I know I said just a hover. I lifted off, paused, and back down. Lifted off, pause, and back down. Lifted off, pause, and back down. Just a few more of those. I know this is a tough one. Hang in there. If you don't like it, skip it. Just wait on us for a little while. Or ditch the Theraband and just have a seat and get up a few times. 8, whatever floats your boat. 9, wherever you are at this moment. 10. That's it. That's all I had. 10 of those. Aren't you glad it was not 20 or 100? Okay, so now that we're there, we're going to let our arms go out in front of you. No Theraband this time. Feet can come back to a little narrower stance, and legs can come back to a narrower stance. Find your pelvic tilt. Even here, can you keep all corners of your feet down and then come right back to sitting? Take a breath in. Exhale, curling back and coming right back in. Exhale, curl back and pause. Let your hands find the edge of the chair. If you're on a chair or whatever piece of equipment you're on, just push your palms into it to see if you can get deeper in that pelvic tilt. Are you still maintaining all corners of your feet down as your head and neck and a nice bobble? And then from that connection, you're going to get a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper, and I've kissed the chair, and then I come all the way back up to sitting. Hopefully that went well. We're going to use all of that new space in the small of our back to come up. Excellent. And we're going to face the chair doing something different. So standing in front of your chair, facing the chair, arms go up to the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, curl forward into that imaginary big parachute shape. Let your hands land at the edge of the chair. Stick your chest out, stick your tail out into that long, long torso, neutral spine connection for a moment, and then go into a cow, excessive sticking your chest out, sticking your tail out without changing your voice or your airway. If you go too far, there's my airway, it's gone. I don't want to go that far. And then I curl up, up, up. Keep that pelvic tilt and that big parachute feeling. Narrow your feet stance to where they're just a little bit apart. And then take a nice inhale. Exhale, let your low belly help you lift both of your heels off the ground. Lower back down. Just that part. Do you still have a small of your back lifted up to the sky? Because the low belly is caressing and hugging the front of the low back. How many of these heels lifting are we going for? 15 of them in this lovely cat shape or parachute shape or jellyfish shape. Low belly, inner ankles, inner legs, inner thighs. Lift the low belly up to help you float your heels up. And be mindful that your big toe and little toe sides of your feet are doing equal work on getting equal love spreading. I'm thinking I'm probably on 7 or 8. So I have 7 left. And you only go as high as you maintain that connection of inner ankle, inner leg, inner thigh, and not losing it to the outer borders of your feet. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. And then let the heels land. Stick your chest way, way out. Look forward slightly up. Remember, you only want to let your head and neck go as far back as your airway stays happy. And then puff your back. Curl, curl, curl. Get so deep into that pelvic tilt that you go so far forward without your heels lifting. With your heels lifting. Pause there. And are you able to bend your knees so much because of your low belly connection? And then send the knees back behind you. So the knees are only bending because the tail is curling so much towards your nose that that's broadening the space across the small of your back. And your belly wall is just hugging your back. Just 5 of those. Here's number 4 for me. Broad neck and shoulders, head and neck are dangling down. 5, and then lower the heels. Allow your chest to stick out into that cow shape. Wonderful. Puff your back. Push the chair away as you roll your way all the way up to standing. Ooh, what do you think? How does that feel? I know you can't talk to me, but I'm still pretending I can talk to you. I feel a lot different. And then we go same thought process, but we're going to take it into threading the needle next. So we take our arms up to the sky, curl forward, let your hands land as broad and wide as the chair allows. Spread your fingertips, get long in your torso and your spine, head and neck floating literally above the shoulder and the neck space. And then from there, you're going to take the left arm off to the side to a T. Turn and look at it as it goes up to the ceiling. Be mindful that the right thigh bone did not go too far forward, meaning that you're just sticking your left leg so far out behind you. Just keep both knees somewhere soft, and then try to reach the left arm up from a kind right shoulder. And then take that left hand underneath the right armpit. Look towards the right fingertips, a little above the right shoulder, sorry. And then take the left hand up to the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, thread it underneath. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath. Wonderful. Let that left hand find the chair. In the middle, do a couple of cat-cows. Do you feel a difference? Cat. Cow. And 2 more. And just record, take inventory in your body. Right arm off to the side to a T. Turn and look at it as it goes up to the sky. Both knees soft if they need to be bent. And sit bones broad. And then take that right arm underneath. Look towards the right fingertips. And take that right hand up as you open the right front of the shoulder. Use the space in the front of the shoulder to open the back of the shoulder as you thread it underneath the left armpit. Here's 3 more. threading the needle. And 2 more. Are you kind to your left shoulder by letting your left underarm help you more? And then back to center. Same thought process. We're going to curl up into a cat shape. And then stick your chest out into a cow shape. And puff your back. Push the chair away, so to speak, to come all the way up on top of both feet. All right. I hope that felt good. Boy, I used quite a bit of time for that beginning stretching sequence. I'm going to put this chair away and we'll get started with the rest of the Theraband session. You know, I always have a method to the madness of how I get down. So if it's available to you, go into a deep squat. If not, find your way all the way down on your mat. Grab your Theraband. We've been doing this pretty much this entire month, a little rowing sequence. So why not continue that, right? We just got a nice amount of room in our back from all of that other stuff we just got through with. So sitting with your legs out in front of you, each hand around each band, both feet around the band, and we pelvic tilt, curl back as far back as your body allows. And then just a few of these, you're going to bend your elbows down by your waist or behind your waist, reach it back out. It's really tempting to lock out at the knees here, but try not to. Be kind to yourselves. Toes up to the sky, heels gently resting on the earth. Last 3. Head floating, low belly hugging the space in front of the low back. Last 1. And then we come all the way up. Rowing. Remember rowing from reformer land. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Let your arms go wide side to side. Take the band behind you as you stretch the arms behind you and the legs are out in front. And then lift the arms up with the band. Circle the arms all the way towards your feet. Come back to sitting tall. Elbows wide, knuckles kiss. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Easy shoulders. Arms out to the sides. Palms turned back. Reach through the arms back behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift the arms all the way around towards your feet, circling them. Coming back to sitting tall. 3 more. 2 more. How is your hand grip? Is it kind? Are you using the thumb and the pinky sides of your hands equally? So many questions. 5. Last one. Wonderful. And then we release. We're going to let that Theraband come into that right foot. And we're going to roll all the way down onto our back, doing a little bit of an oscillation type of a range of motion. Left leg is nice and long. We curl back to take that right leg with us as we roll all the way down onto our back. Give that right back of your thigh bone a little bit of an extra stretch. Easy hand grip. Let the weight of the right thigh bone rock forward. We're going to skip all the other stuff that we did last week and roll all the way up to sitting. Let that right leg fall wherever it falls. Take a breath in. Exhale, same start, pelvic tilt. Curl as far back without having to lift the leg. As soon as you need to lift the leg, you lift the leg up. And now encourage it towards your body without the right side body getting unhappy. Keep the right corner of the bum reaching for the left corner of the room, and then roll your way up, healing your way up. And once you've come all the way up, we only do 3 of these for each side. I know I'm making all kinds of noises on this mat today. I'm enjoying this parse. Wonderful. Okay. Now fold over and notice how much nicer and longer the right side feels already. Same love for the left side. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Rock back. There we go. And then we take it as far back. Give that left thigh bone a nice stretch. Leave the left corner of the bum towards the right corner of the room to keep the left side body happy. And then roll your way back up, taking your time. One leg roll up is what this is, with the assistance of the Theraband. This feels so good in this position. Love having something that's being held by the band. Just 3 of those. And one more. Wonderful. All right. So now both feet around the band. We're going to take our time to curl back into that same pelvic tilt. And we're going to drag the heels towards us and let the legs stretch out in front of you for a supported teaser. Bend the legs, put the heels down, drag the heels forward. So these are called heel slides in this deep pelvic tilt. Take a breath in, head and neck floating. Exhale, drag your feet towards you, and then the feet will come off. You go into that supported teaser. Easy hand grip. Elbows stay softly bent. Shoulders stay happy. Heels drag out, and then the elbows lengthen. Make sense? Take an inhale. Exhale, drag. Hopefully all you feel is your low belly helping you bring your feet towards your body and taking it away from the body. The hinge from the knee and the foot should be fairly easy. Last one. And I'm shaking. All right, so now we're going to roll all the way down onto our back. And an assisted dual band, dual feet roll up, meaning rolling up in the middle. If you need the assistance, you choke a little bit further on the band. If you don't need the assistance, you just roll up on your own. Whatever you choose to do, I'm okay with. I like the pull of the band so I can rest the front of my body a little bit more, especially my thigh bones. So take a breath in, exhale, nod your chin, do a full roll up wherever your body takes you, however soft, however slow, however kind. We have 2 more of those as well. So curling back, rolling all the way down, and then rolling back up. Isn't it nice to have the bungees or the band pull on you? It feels like the bungees from chair class. I know, I'm in my body and all pieces of equipment in my brain. Excellent. All right, we'll let the band go. Let's go into a few normal, quote unquote, classical Pilates style pelvic tilt. Roll all the way down onto the tip of the shoulder. Bring the right leg close to you. Bring the left leg close to you. You're in a tabletop with both legs, arms nice and long. And we just go into 5 of the 100s. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anytime you need to support your head and neck in your hands, you do so with one hand or both hands and just maintain this posture, or release your head, neck, and shoulders and stay pumping. That was 5 for me. Stretch both legs up to the sky, release your head, neck, and shoulders down for a moment. And now modified version of scissors. The right leg lowers all the way down with the head, neck, and shoulders down, and then you bring it back right over the hip. Left leg lowers all the way down, and you bring it right back up. Right leg lowers all the way down, you bring it back up. And remember, if it doesn't go all the way down without the low back assisting you, don't go that far. Honor your body, asks of how well you're able to maintain kindness across your back. Here's number 3 for me. We're just going for 3. Excellent. So now the right leg goes away, it bends, bicycle pattern, drag the foot and then stretch. And now the left leg drags away, bend, drag it towards you and stretch. Right leg reaches away, bends when you need to, and you take it up to the sky. Left leg reaches away, bends and drags towards you. Here's number 3. You've got the picture. Number 3 for the other side. And now we reverse. We bend the knee, we drag the heel out in front of us, lengthen, sweep it up to the sky. And then same thing for the left side. Bend the knee, drag the heel out in front, sweep it up to the sky. Right knee bends, you drag the heel out in front of you, you stretch it up to the sky. Left knee bends, drag the heel, drag it away, and we're lifted up. Last one, you know what you're doing. I'll stop talking. Wonderful. All right, so now we're going to rock up to sitting with the legs up in the sky. Take a breath in, exhale, use a little momentum, allow the legs to fall back behind you as you curl up. Use your hands and roll up into teaser and roll back down. Take an inhale, exhale, let the legs fall towards your face first. Use the momentum of the legs to help you come up and rock back all the way down onto your back. Last one. Legs swing a little back, a little bunny hop, and then come back. Use your hands to come up. Excellent. Put the soles of your feet together, knees open, stretch forward. I just love to go into those teasers, apparently. Here we go. Getting ready to go into our side lying series next. Making sure, oh my goodness, wow. Time really flies away, guys. So today's version, I'm on my forearm with a lifted side body, and I've got my thigh bones in a diamond shape. What does that mean? That means that my right thigh bone has already opened, and it's really tempting to rock back and just kind of fall into that left hip, but float your way onto the left side of your thigh bone. The right half of the pelvis is directly on top of the left half of the pelvis. It's just the right thigh bone that has rotated out. Just that part, trying to find that nice alignment with the head and neck and tail talking to each other. Underarm helping you keep you off of the left shoulder instead of slumping into that left shoulder. Stay lifted, take a breath in. And all you're going to do is from this diamond shape, you're just going to float that right foot off of the bottom foot and put it back down. Just that part. 2 and 3, 5 of those, 4 and 5. So now you're going to stretch that right leg nice and long, directly in line with that right hip and bum. And you're going to bring it forward and just tiny rotate that right thigh bone out, rotate the right thigh bone in. If you could imagine the thigh bone ends in the heel, and you're just turning the doorknob to open and close, open and close. How many? 10 of those. 4, 5, 6. It's very specific for the freedom of the thigh bone. 8, 9, and 10. And then let that right leg fall directly in line with the right hip and bum. Keep that connection, lift it off the ground, swing it as far in front of you, lift it up and somewhere behind you. A little quarter or half circle. 5 one way, 5 the other way, as large as your body can go to. Remember, the upper body wants to help go forward a little as the leg goes back. Let that happen. Here's number 5 for me. And then we reverse. We swing it up and forward and slide it back. Up and forward and slide it back. Once again, it's all about the thigh bone, not the pelvis or the hip trying to take over. It's the thigh bone to the hip connection. 5. Wonderful. How did that feel? I know you're not going to tell me. It's all good because I can't hear anything you're saying anyway. Take a breath in. Side plank from there. How would I get into a side plank situation? My right foot is going to help me to take the left hip off of the ground. Just that part. And then the right arm reaches up to the sky. And it's very tempting to let the right hip go too far up, but keep it somewhere where it's kind, all from the right ear all the way to the right foot. and then back down. Just that part again, once more. Inhale, exhale, float your left hip off, right arm is reaching, head and neck floating, broad collarbones, easy shoulders, and back down. Wonderful. Bring the right leg out in front of you, have a seat with your legs as wide as you can, and notice how ridiculously long you feel on the right side. Let your right hand just drag down the right leg and go as far into that left side opening for a moment, because we've been on that left side. It needs a little love at this point. And breathing into that whole left side body, thinking of the ribs being an accordion and all of the ribs open. So the lungs have a deeper way of letting go of our exhales. And then we come all the way up. We'll go up and over once to the left side as well. That way the right side can also open a little bit more and it'll feel even ridiculously longer. Excellent. So now we'll swing the legs to go to the other side. I know, a little shorter series than usual. All right, so underarm helps us stay out of that shoulder, pressing up and out, so to speak, to keep the space soft and broad. The bottom ribs are lifting up into the top ribs. Hip is in line with somewhere in the elbow. Head, neck, and tail are all having a conversation. That left hip did not roll too far back. I had to figure that out myself. That left thigh bone is open. So now all I'm going to do is use an exhale. Keep the space between where the thigh bone meets the abdominal basket soft. And we lift that left leg off and put it back down. Left foot comes off and it goes back down. It barely comes off and you put it back down. Number 4, all I feel is my left bum. Well, actually, that's not true. 5. And then stretch that left leg nice and long, directly long underneath. Bring it out in front of you a little bit, maintaining kindness across the right shoulder and ribs. And then the right bum to your heel has a long magic line and you're opening and closing the doorknob. 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hooey, 10. Reach it back, let it fall for a moment. Take an inhale, use an exhale to lift a little bit longer from that bum, and then take it out in front of you. Semicircle, lift it up and back somewhere behind you. 5 one way, 5 the other way. These are expansive thoughts in my brain. Trying to get all corners of that left thigh bone to get a little juice. Here's 5. And then I lift it up and forward and swing it back, reversing the pattern of the circle. Woo. And 5. Wonderful. That left leg stays long. I press into the left elbow and hand just to get a little longer across the left side body. Perfect. And then from there, I'm going to let my left hand lift up, lift the right hip off the ground. Take an inhale, exhale, keep breathing, and back down. Wonderful. Take another inhale. Same thing, 10 seconds this next time. And back down. Wonderful. From here, same thing. We're going to let that leg come out, stretch a little wider. We stretched side body, so let's finish that off. Once more each side. Right arm lifts up to go over. We're thinking of the right lungs, ribs, all that whole side body getting a deep stretch. And then this time, go ahead and rotate. Let your right hand land wherever it lands on the left leg, foot, wherever it lands, and just breathe. And then roll your way back up. Same thing for the other side. Right hand drags across the left, right leg, and we take the left hand up and over. Ooh, right, left just went out the window again for me. Breathing into that left side body space. And then we'll twist, put both hands. We'll breathe there too. Wonderful. And then we'll come up. We're going to swing our legs back, go on our bellies again. Find your Theraband if it's somewhere near you, and you're on your bellies. You're going to stay on your belly, keeping the small of your back happy. If that means you need to put a little pillow between your belly button and your hip bones, by all means do so. Wherever you're kind across the small of your belly is where you want to go. And you're going to bring your hands in front of you with your forehead resting on the mat and arms as wide, hands and arms as wide as your shoulders. And from there, I'm going to keep my head just barely off of the mat, just so you can hear me speak a little bit easier. Long, long neck. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, float just the hand and the arm bones off of the ground. You've got the Theraband between the thumb crease and the index finger. So take an inhale, broad fingertips. Exhale, pull the band with the pinky sides of your hands, lower arm, forearm, and then bring it right back toward each other. Once again, breathe wide and deep. And be purposeful and intentional in your practice. Where do I feel most of this? In the middle of my upper back, not my low back. I'm thinking of keeping the belly button soft and lifted, and I'm keeping my bum from clenching too much. Just what's enough to keep the front of the thigh bones happy and grounded. How many am I going for? 10, 6, broad neck and shoulders, 7, upper traps uninvited, 8, 9, and 10. And then let everything go. So hopefully it kind of reminded you of the exercise swimming, where essentially that's what you're trying to do, is separate your hands away from each other and reaching the opposite hand to the foot. But in this connection, hopefully you can keep that broadness across the back, float your hands and your feet off the ground, and we go into swimming. However many breath cycles your body is happy with, you keep going. When you need a break, you stop. You're just literally slapping the air with your hands and your feet. Trying to keep the legs long as possible, and then relax everything back down. So now I'm going to let my forehead rest on the back of my hands that are stacked one on top of each other. Easy shoulders again. Let both legs reach so far long away from each other that the feet and the legs float off the ground. The knees are also off the ground. And I'm trying to keep the thigh bones in neutral, and 10 tiny kisses, releases of the inner thigh. So I bring the thigh bones toward each other, release, toward each other, release. Reminding yourself of not letting your upper traps help you do a little bit of inner thigh work. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release everything back down. Let your big toes turn toward each other. So in essence, it's the internal rotation of the thigh bones. Heels away from each other, big toes toward each other. Float both legs off the ground. And same tiny pulses or kisses with the thigh bones. Easy shoulders. Big toes kiss, release. Big toes kiss, release. Are you still happy across your bum? Are you still happy across the space of the small of your back? Low belly lifted, belly button soft and lifted towards the breastbone. Broad neck. Happy thoughts. 9, 10, and then we release. Exact same thing, and externally rotated thigh bones. This is my most challenging, and I kept it last. I can't believe it. So heels toward each other, toes away from each other, float both legs off the ground, and tiny, tiny heel kisses. Heel kiss, 2, 3, 4. Legs are long, shoulders are happy, low belly lifted, and you're breathing easy. 9, 10, and release. Ooh, that was intense. I know. I thought so too. So from there, we're going to go right into our one leg rocking, meaning half rocking. Don't know how I could have said that any worse. Take a breath in, exhale, let your left hand slip away. Here's a place where if you need the Theraband, you can always use the Theraband. You're going to reach for your left foot and ankle behind you with your left hand. And from there, you're just going to let your ear turn away from that left side. So let your head and neck turn towards the right shoulder is happy. Just barely letting that left knee and thigh bone lift off by allowing the front of the left hip to melt into the ground. You should feel a big stretch across the left quad, thigh bone, hip area, and then release everything back down. And so nice inhale, exhale, let your gaze come back right underneath instead of turning. And now let the head and neck lift. As you let your upper body lift a little bit more, you're kicking your foot into your hand into your foot, and then release everything back down. Last 2 of those. If this goes into the small of your back, ditch this. If anything, you can always move the right leg a little further away and make this movement a little less intense by letting it be tinier, and that'll help keep it from the small of your back as well. And then release it back away. Do you feel ridiculously long on the left side? I sure do. And the right side gets a little love. So right hand goes behind to hold on to the right foot ankle. Easy shoulders. I have to give myself reminders as well. And then I'm going to turn my ear away just for that first stretch that's a little different. My knee comes off, my thigh bone barely comes off, belly button stays lifted, low back stays happy. Huge, huge stretch. And then I release. So now I'm going to let my head, neck come back to facing forward, easy shoulders. Lift up into that one leg rocking business or half rocking business, and then release it back down. Last one. And back down. Whoa. Wow. That does feel much, much better. Press yourselves up and back into your version of child's pose. I didn't know if I could make it there today, but I did. Hallelujah. Wonderful. And then carefully come back. Last week we did a lot of hip openers on our hands and knees. I don't know if you remember that. So this week we're going to go into balancing table from hands and knees position. What does that mean? It's just simply similar to bird dog type position. So the right hand and the left leg slide away from each other. Keep that connection. Left underarm is helping you keep the left shoulder happy. Left elbow has not locked in place. You've got your fingertips broad. Low belly stays lifted into the small of your back. Head and neck floating. This is a very long time, I know, but you've got this, I promise. And then we come back to center. Yes? Same side, same leg and hand again. This time we add a little bit. I promise we'll go to the other side in a moment. So take an inhale, exhale, slide the right hand, slide the left foot, and now keep that connection. And just the left leg barely lifts up to the ceiling and down, up to the ceiling and down. It's like there's a magic string that's pulling the whole leg up, but without the back lifting. So how can this be where the bum and the thigh bone meet? 6, 10 of those. 7, I warned you it was a balancing section. 9, 10, and then come back to center. Wonderful. I know you're thinking, are we done with that side yet? Not quite. We're almost there. So now we're going to use that newfound space that we created with that crossband pattern and allow the body to move in that space. So take an inhale, exhale, right hand, left leg again, and we let the right elbow curl towards the left knee, reach it back away. Exhale, curl, inhale back to center. Exhale, curl, inhale, broad, inhale, and exhale. 10 of those as well. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Wonderful. Come back to center. Oh, I feel ridiculously different on the left and right, left hip and right shoulder. Curl into your cow. Stick your chest out into cow. Something we started at the beginning of class. Curl and cow. Last one. Cat, cow, and find your neutral, whatever that means. Fingertips broad, really wide fingertips. The pads of your hands are helping you. Equal weight on both thumb side and the pinky side of the hand. Left hand, right leg, slide out. And we keep it there for a while because that's what we did the first time. You've got this. Yes. And then we come back. Wonderful. So the next one, I'm going to move just a hair forward. We add a little. We take a breath in, exhale, same start, left hand, right leg. And remember, it's tiny. The whole right leg lifts up a little, back down. It should remind you of what we did on the chair, except it's a completely different context right now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we come back to center. On the chair, we were working the front of the thigh bone. Here, we're working the back of the thigh bone. All right, take a breath in, but in essence, it's just different orientation. Exhale, same start, left arm, right leg. We let the left elbow meet the right knee, and we come back. We puff our back as they meet each other, and we lengthen back away. Head and neck go with you. Last one. Excellent. And you come back to center. Whew, 3 more cat-cows. Wonderful. All right, so now from here, how are we going to come up to standing? We're going to tuck the toes under, allow the low belly to lift into the low back, curl your low back, lift your knees off the ground, take your hips up and back into downward dog. I know, sneak attack is my name. And you're thinking, when do we get a little bit of pigeon stretching? We're getting ready to experience pigeon stretching, don't worry. You know I've been obsessed with the reverse plank lately. We're going to go into that in a few moments. And from this lovely downward dog shape, you're going to walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands, whatever you choose. And then roll your way back up. Ooh, what do you think? I know you can't tell me anything. Somehow I always think you're going to talk back to me. Go into a lovely chair pose, whatever that means for you right now. And pause there in your chair pose. Do you feel like you've gained so much broadness across your chest and the small of your back? Does it feel like it's a different chair pose from the beginning of class? I sure hope so. Now, if you need the wall for assistance, you're going to go all the way down and get all the way up. Only 5 of those. Whatever assistance you need, by all means, honor your body. So from here, I'm going to try to get up. I'm going to use the wall to push myself off and my left hand, and I'm going to come all the way up to standing. I know it's a very overzealous move. Here's number 2. However you want to get down and up, by all means do so. Yes, number 3 for me. You're thinking, no, I'm not saying yes. On the 5th one, stay down. Here's 4. It's a very, very mean and overzealous move, guys. Skip it if it's not comfortable or happy in your body. I think I have one more. I don't know if I do, but I just did one more. And once you come all the way down, you're going to stay down. So tabletop, reverse plank. What does that mean? We're going to keep our knees bent, feet on the mat, hands a little behind us, broad collarbones. Actually, I'm going to let my fingertips face away from each other because that gives me a really nice broad opening across the collarbones and the chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift your hips up to where your knees end up directly over the heels, head and neck long. And we just stay in this tabletop for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if available, keep it here for 5 more. 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. How did it go? Great, you're probably saying. So now we're ready for our reverse plank. Same thought process and connection. We let our feet point to help us. We take an inhale when we try not to lock the knees and we try not to shrink. We're still staying up and out of the collarbones and the broadness of the shoulders. Stepping into the heel a little bit more, lifting our bum off into our reverse plank. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Roll all the way down onto your back. We're almost done. Pigeon stretch coming up. Bend your left knee. Take the right ankle across the front of your left knee and let your left foot come so close to you that it comes off the ground. Hold behind your left thigh bone. Use your right elbow gently to push the right thigh bone slightly away, and that should accentuate your stretch for the right bum. Your left leg and knee can be as lazy as it needs to be. You can also rock away from the right side to see if that gives you a deep stretch, or rock back and forth. Whatever you need here. 3 more breath cycles, please. We're almost done, if that makes you feel better. And then be gentle. Let the left leg land on the ground first. Uncross the right knee. Take the left ankle on top of the right knee. Drag the right foot close to you that it floats off the ground. Use your left elbow to press the left thigh bone away. You're holding behind the right thigh bone, not at the knee space, preferably. This alone is a big stretch. If I rock over to the left, it's a little bit more of a stretch for me on this side. It's just different. Different sides have different needs. Easy shoulders. And then let that left foot land. Right foot lands, stretch both legs away. And like a traditional yoga class, you can stay here for 3 whole minutes for Shavasana if you would like, or just take a couple of moments to notice, wow, many sections of my back are on the mat, my legs and my hips feel much nicer, shoulders feel happier, and just rock your way up to sitting or standing. And we are finished for the day. I hope you enjoyed this class. Thank you so much for your support. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.